Thank you. And now it's my pleasure to introduce one of the best developers in the business with whom we have had the pleasure of working very closely for many, many years. Here to further demonstrate how we plan to reach out to the casual gamer through online content, please give a warm welcome to the President and CEO of Insomniac Games, Ted Price.
Hey guys, how are you? Great, thank you. Thank you very much, Kaz. And before we get started, I'd like to give you all a quick taste of Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal, the newest in the Ratchet & Clank franchise. Thank you. 2 years ago, the original Ratchet & Clank debuted right here as one of the first real evolutions in action platforming in years. Since then, the original and its successor, Ratchet & Clank Going Commando, have sold close to 4 million copies worldwide. This E3, though, we're showing off what we think is the next step in action platforming. Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal is the first online action platformer for the PlayStation 2. Now, this game is really two games in one. It's a huge single-player game, as big as either of its predecessors, and a full-featured online game. Today, I'll be talking about the online features and explaining why we think it will help expand the online market for the PlayStation 2. Now, when we started developing Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal, we had three goals. The first was to become an online developer. And now, like most developers out there, we've been developing single-player games since our start 10 years ago. We knew that to compete in today's market, we would have to make the leap to online and do it very quickly. Fortunately, with Sony's help, we were able to do it in a matter of months. Our second goal, create two great tastes that taste great together. Chocolate, peanut butter, whoever thought that would work, right? Well, for us, it was online and action platforming. Put them together, create something completely unique. Furthermore, when we started looking at what was out there online, we realized that most of the games are very realistic. Most of the games take themselves really seriously. We asked ourselves, where's the humor in online games? Where are the farm animals? Nobody's doing it. The third goal we had, create more network adopters. Let's broaden the online market by bringing online to a new audience. Consumers who play games like Ratchet & Clank, action platformers, these players are less likely to have made the jump to online than any other market segment. Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal brings these players into the online family. Now let's talk a little bit about the features for Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal. We've got 6 big battlefields, 2 of which we're showing off here at E3. The game is peer-to-peer, and we can play 8 players at a time. For those who don't have network adapters, we also support split screen, so you can play against 3 of your friends at home. Furthermore, we're offering strong community support. We've got a full-featured online lobby with all the bells and whistles you'd expect to see from a dedicated online game. Features like clans, buddy lists, stat tracking, password-protected games. Furthermore, we're also supporting real-time voice chat with the Sony headset. 8 players can be speaking at a time, and we will run at a consistent 60 frames per second. Now, this is a first for the PlayStation 2. Now, as far as the online modes go, we're offering Siege Mode, Capture the Flag, Deathmatch, and in a few seconds, we'll be showing off Siege Mode, where we'll also demonstrate co-op vehicles, destructible environments, and the very cool weapons and gadgets that make up the Ratchet universe. And yes, you can turn your friends into sheep online. So, I would like to start things off by introducing our players, all from Insomniac Games. First, the red team. Brian Hastings, our Vice President of Programming. Scott Reeser, online programmer. Eric Christensen, our Director of Gameplay. And Sam Christensen, online programmer. On the blue team, Brian Allgaier, our Design Director. Corey Stockton, our online designer who kicks my ass every single time I play this game. Eric Ellis, online programmer. and Doug Finch, our QA manager. All right, guys, you set? All right, let's start. Okay, so what we got going on here is red versus blue. Red is trying to take the blue base. Blue is trying to take the red base. Now, we've started the battle in mid-battle because these battles are big and they can take a long time. What they're trying to do right now is take nodes. When you take a node, you actually give your team an advantage because if you die, you can respawn at a node. Furthermore, you can see that we've got vehicles operating here. We've got, let's see over here, we've got guys using the different weapons. We've got different skins going on in the game. This vehicle right here is the hover ship. It's one of our 2 vehicles that we're offering. What's great about the hover ship is that you can take out destructible environments and you can carry passengers. So what he's doing right now, I think, is about to drop off one of his buddies. Actually, he's trying to kill this guy right here. And this player over here has the swing shot. This is a very cool gadget that we offer. It's from the Ratchet & Clank universe. But as you can see, using gadgets in this game is very important. We've got magnet boost, ramps like this that you can walk up and down. This guy is destroying one of our bridges. This gives his team a significant advantage over the other team. Let's see what we also got here. This player here has just taken a node. It looks like he's going to be heading towards the blue base on his own. Now, it's important to remember that you can't take a base by yourself. You definitely need friends, but he's going to try to do it anyway. What's important to note about the bases is that they're very well defended. We've got automated turrets, drones, what we call ball bots who will come after you and kill you. And anyway, it looks like the blue team has the advantage here. They have more nodes. Blue team is taking advantage of the red team by trying to snipe him from hidden spots here. Now, the more nodes you get, the more your team has an advantage because the other team will have to be spawned at their base and try to go all the way back to your base. This player right here is trying to turn his friend into a sheep. There we go. The first sheep in the game. If you turn into a sheep, you can actually respawn as a player if you stay away from the other characters. Here we got a character who's who's taking advantage of the magnet boots. One of the great things about using the magnet boots is you can stand on the ceiling and take out the turrets from afar. Let's see. The blue team is trying hard to take the red base, but as you can see, the defenses are pretty tough. These big Gatling guns will take out your health very quickly. This player here, the Ratchet, is using his different weapons. We've got a lot of different weapons that we offer. He's using the N60 machine gun, trying to take out the ball turrets. Now we've got a bunch of red guys here around the blue base who are actually doing a little bit worse than the red guys who are at the blue base. All they've got to do is take out one more turret, and then they can take the base. All you have to do is take out all the turrets and step on the teleporter. So it looks like all you have to do is step on the teleporter, and they win. So congratulations to blue team. Well done. Congratulations to both the team, red and blue. Thank you, guys. So I hope you all enjoyed that. We have that kind of mayhem going on at our offices constantly. But as you can see, Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal is a very cool combination of online and action platforming. And we think that it will expand the online market for the PlayStation 2 and once again take the action platforming genre in a brand new direction. So please come by the Sony booth. We'll be playing Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal for the entire show and hosting online games, and you can turn your friends into sheep. Thank you very much.
I'm Brian Hastings. I'm Vice President of Programming at Insomniac.
My name is Brian Allgaier. I'm the Design Director at Insomniac Games.
My name's Corey Stockton, and I'm a designer at Insomniac Games.
Ratchet and Clank are coming off a very busy year where they fought off the big Protopet menace and they humiliated Captain Quark over in the Bogon Galaxy. And as a result of that, they both became pretty famous. And for the first time, Clank actually stepped out of Ratchet's shadow and became, believe it or not, a TV and movie star back in the Solana Galaxy. A news flash breaks in and they discover that Veldin, Ratchet's homeworld, is actually under attack. And so the game starts out as they dash back to planet Veldin and try to save it from this attack. We're really trying to take the single-player gameplay to a whole new level. I think last year when we added the weapon upgrades and the health upgrades, the RPG core elements really made it feel like a new game. And we want to play that up, and we want to take that to a new level.
In Ratchet & Clank Going Commando, we only had one upgrade for the first playthrough. For Up Your Arsenal, we've got over 4 upgrades for 14 of the weapons in the game. So for instance, we have the Infector, which shoots out this green spray that infects enemies, and then they end up fighting their own kind. Later on, it upgrades to the Infector version 2, where enemies will then infect each other. So you infect one guy, and suddenly they're all becoming infected. Eventually, it gets longer range, higher capacity, and then ultimately upgrades to the Infecto Bomb. We also have the Shock Blaster. This is your basic scattergun or shotgun. And what this does is it will upgrade to have a charge-up attack. Then later, it will have a lock-on feature where you can actually lock on to enemies and take them out. And then there's the shock effect that it provides for one of the later upgrades. And finally, it becomes the shock cannon, and this has a beam of death attack. We're also bringing back the zip lines, but we're calling them the zip vines. So in Florana, Ratchet can slide down vines and then drop into an enemy encounter.
There are going to be 20 weapons, and there are going to be several new gadgets. I can't say exactly how many, but there are several in addition to the ones that we showed today. And there will be 5 weapons returning from Ratchet & Clank Going Commando, and there will be 15 new ones in addition to that. Story-wise, I think we're carrying over our best characters. Some of our favorite characters from Ratchet & Clank 1 were actually coming back. Skid McMarks, the pro hoverboarder, is coming back. Big Al from Big Al's RoboShack is making an appearance. Helga, the fitness trainer, is coming back. And the 3 of them are actually going to be part of what's called the Q Force, and that's going to be Captain Quark. It has been picked by the President of the Galaxy to head up the fight against Dr. Nefarious. So Ratchet is forced to join forces with Captain Quark and join the Q Force and find some way to defeat Nefarious. Multiplayer is the newest and coolest thing that we're doing with Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal.
Well, we're going to have 8-player online battlefields. We're going to have 6 levels, all completely different and separate from the levels in the single-player game, so it'll be an all different experience. We're going to support broadband only. We're going to have full voice chat support with the headsets. And the gameplay itself is basically a capture the base type mode. So you'll be in teams of 4, one team's red, one team's blue. And you'll have all the weapons will range on different levels, but we're going to have more than 6 weapons that players will have available. We'll have gadgets from the single player game will also be available. We also have vehicles, and the vehicles can be driven co-op. So for instance, we have a buggy and one person can drive and another person could be in the back shooting a turret at other players. We have flying vehicles. We have destructible environments. So it's really a full-featured mode. It's not like just an add-on mode that you would get tacked on. It's a completely full-featured online mode. We also have destructible cover. So a player could try to hide behind a piece of cover and then, say, shoot gravity bombs over that cover at someone. But he can only use it for so long because as it gets hit, it takes damage and chunks of it will blow up and disappear until there's just nothing left. For the players that don't have online gameplay, we have a 4-player split screen mode, and it will support 2, 3, and 4-player, and it will have all the exact same features that you'll get in the online mode. We'll support the multi-tap, so players can split their screens however they want and just go to town the exact same way that they'd be able to online, but against their friends.
We're always improving our technology, and we've optimized our engine such that we can have a lot more detail and lighting effects in the environment. We've got specular effects, better water textures, and each one of the environments we're always thinking about the story as we're building them. So we want to deeply tie in the environments and the story together. That's our biggest goal because we love having that story gameplay integration. The single-player adventure is as massive as ever. It's a huge, epic adventure with what we feel is the best story that we've written. It's got tons of challenges to keep people who love the first 2 games occupied. And then, of course, it's got this whole other multiplayer online aspect where people can play against each other 4-on-4. And so there are many hours, and I think countless hours of enjoyment that can come out of this game. So it's huge. I believe the essential ingredients of a Ratchet & Clank game is giving people choices, giving people many options to choose from. People love to have multiple weapons that they can purchase and then being able to upgrade each one of those weapons. There's vehicles that you can jump into, there's money that you can earn. There's a lot of different ways that you can play the game, and people can pick their own routes. And that carries on over into the multiplayer aspects. We've got a lot of different strategies that you can do. You can use your gravity boots to run up to a sniping point, or jump into a hover ship and bomb out bridges. Ultimately, we want to give people freedom to pick what they want to do at any time. So that, I believe, is the essential quality.
We'll have some surprises at E3. We're definitely going to be showing off some new multiplayer features. But in addition to that, there's one big thing I think is very cool that I wish I could talk more about, but it's definitely a surprise we're saving. You can look for Ratchet & Clank 3 up your arsenal this fall.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Ryan Schneider of Insomniac Games, who's going to tell us a little bit more about the new Ratchet & Clank game. So basically, why don't you give us an overview? What is up with Ratchet & Clank in Up Your Arsenal?
In Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal, first of all, at the end of Ratchet & Clank Going Commando, Ratchet & Clank have saved the galaxy again, and they've been able to find intergalactic celebrityhood. They were approached to do what's called a holovid series. It turns out that Ratchet is not quite the actor, though, that the directors would like. Hence the new show, Secret Agent Clank, where Clank is actually a secret agent a la James Bond, just in a robotic form. He's kind of an international robot of mystery and intrigue. And what you find in Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal, the game starts with the Secret Agent Clank episode, but it's interrupted by Darla Gratch from Channel 64 News talking about Veldin, Ratchet's homeworld, being invaded by an evil race called the Tyhrranoids. Turns out the Tyhrranoids are employed by none other than Dr. Nefarious, a robotic megalomaniac supervillain. So Ratchet & Clank, together with the Q-Force, are off to basically save the galaxy from organic extinction.
Awesome. So it seems like, the single-player game obviously is a lot bigger, but I think the big news is that there's been a whole multiplayer section of the game added with online and all that stuff.
Well, in Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal, we really like to say that it's 2 games in one. In fact, it's really 3 games in one when you include replay and over 2 hours of cinematics. So you're getting a lot of game here. But in the online mode, we actually have 10 distinct online maps, 3 modes within each: Capture the Flag, Deathmatch, and Siege. And within each of those, there's various things that you can set. So you can completely customize your gameplay experience. What's special about the online gameplay in Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal is that the variety of gameplay modes in online. As you mentioned, Capture the Flag and Deathmatch are pretty straightforward. And Siege mode is a little more detailed, a little more strategic.
So how many players can play at the same time online?
You can play up to 8 players online. And one thing that's special in Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal also is the clans. And you can actually, with clans, we're actually the first online game for PS2 where you can issue clan challenges. And up to 64 people can join a clan. So while 8 can play online, 4 can play offline split screen, 2 can play online split screen, and 64 can join a clan. So it's just a massive online experience. It should be a heck of a lot of fun.
And there are going to be a lot of stat tracking and things like that you can keep track of, right? How many different categories will you be able to track?
You can track everything from weapons used, nodes taken. Nodes are really important in the siege mode from a strategy standpoint. They're respawn points, basically. You can track the kills to death ratio, and we're going to have a cheat, in fact, that you can track squats, so to speak. It's a taunt.
Cool.
So you'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
How many times you've taunted someone, that sort of thing? That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it sounds like the multiplayer mode in the game is pretty big, but it's definitely not a slouch in single-player mode either, right? There's a whole big adventure and stuff to go through.
Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal is really the most ambitious game that Insomniac has ever been able to do. And we actually have 29 playable locations in single player, spread across 18 worlds. Part of that comes from 2 new types of gameplay modes that have not been seen before in Ratchet & Clank games, one of which is battlefield missions. And these are really cool. They really tie into the storyline because you work in concert with a group known as the Galactic Rangers. Not all robots are bad in Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal, and you work with these Galactic Rangers to take down the Tyhrranoids. So the battlefield missions are, picture them as like tactical episodes that occur within a series where each Each tactical mission might be, okay, drop the defense shield, use the hover ship to take out the enemy dropships, then storm the base, destroy the Gatling guns, overrun the base, and clear out the Tyhrranoids. So that's really cool.
Cool. So a big part of the series has always been, just big, huge weapons, just a wild assortment of weapons. Now there are a lot more weapons in this game, right?
Absolutely. There are 20 weapons in Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal, 15 all new weapons in fact, and each comes with 5 levels of upgrades in the first playthrough. Wow. When you get to replay mode, there's actually an additional 3 levels of upgrades. So you can actually upgrade 20 weapons up to 8 different times.
So when can we expect to see Ratchet & Clank on shelves?
Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal will be in shelves November 2nd.
All right. Thanks a lot, Ryan.
No problem.
Yes, it's the third game. It's Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal. And this time Ratchet returns to the galaxy from the first game where he has to fight off an evil menace called the Tyhrranoids. And their goal is to wipe out all organic creatures. So it's kind of robots versus the squishies.
Now, are they optimistic they'll actually be able to wipe out cockroaches?
I think so. I think they can.
Really, all organic?
Well, they have the support of the Galactic Rangers and the whole Galactic Force.
Okay.
And they get to. There's a lot of battles that are going on all these different planets. So there's a whole new arsenal of weapons that Ratchet has. And they actually have 4 upgrades this time around. So instead of just the 1 upgrade that we had in Going Commando, the weapons will actually upgrade 4 times for the first playthrough.
Okay, great. And now the environments, are they all new, partially new? Did you hold you same place?
They're all new environments, but you're revisiting different parts of the planets that Ratchet has seen before. So there'll be some familiarity for the fans, but still a lot of new gameplay.
Okay. Well, why don't you go ahead and start to show us the game? You're going to show us the single player, right?
That's right, yeah. Okay. This is actually Marcadia. And Ratchet & Clank have been notified that the presidential compound is under attack, and a group of Tyhrranoid forces have invaded. So Ratchet will be equipped with his new weapons. He'll have the plasma whip, nitro launcher, the annihilator. So here I've got the plasma whip, and this is a melee weapon where you can swing it and throw it, and then also you can do overhead strikes with it. So here are the Tyhrranoids. And they've got 2 eyes, 3 eyes, 1-eyed. The more eyes they have, the bigger they are, and the dumber they get. But they also get bigger weapons too, so it's a bit tricky. And then of course we're going to bring back some of the favorites, like the Agents of Doom here. And then I've got my rocket launcher, which is the Annihilator.
How many new enemies are there?
There are several new enemies. All the enemies are new, and then there are some familiar ones that are coming back too. It's really hard to put a number on because we're still working on the game, but there's over 50 new enemies.
Okay. And how far into the game is this level you're showing us?
This is actually towards the beginning of the level, or beginning of the game. It's oh, okay, I'm under attack by some guys up above here. It's one of the 4th levels of the game after Ratchet has gone to the Phoenix, which is his starship, and that's like the main headquarters. Where he can buy armor and meet members of the Q-Force, which is a group of soldiers under the direction of Captain Quark. And Captain Quark this time around is actually a good guy who redeems himself.
He redeems himself within the game or between games? Oops.
Yes. So actually I'm going to show you a different level where I get to free fall down to the battle below. Okay. And this is Veldin. This was Ratchet's home planet that's now under attack by the Tyhrranoids as well.
Okay.
And I can show off some of the nitro launcher, some of the weapons that upgrade. They upgrade a lot faster than the previous game, so you'll get a sense of progression a lot faster.
So what's the ultimate? What's the boss weapon? What do you really want to have?
The nitro launcher is pretty damn awesome. When it gets to become the Nitro Eruptor, it will. It becomes such a powerful force. You can just blast away the massive enemies very rapidly. These are actually the Galactic Rangers. They're here helping Ratchet out. They're having supporting fire that helps me defeat these guys. Okay, this guy's a bit tough here. So Ratchet's hit points go well over 100 this time. We're bringing back all of the RPG elements. We've got the whole economic systems making a return, and then of course we've got many more weapon upgrades. There's also the battlefields that Ratchet can fight in. I'm actually heading towards the battlefield right now.
Okay.
And then I just upgraded to the Nitro Launcher V2, so it has a much larger damage, a different damage effect, and it's much more powerful too. So this is like the first level of the game, and many of you may remember that the levels aren't nearly as intense for the first one. So it's very early, and a lot of stuff's going on here. Here we got a battle with the Tyhrranoids, who are now fighting the Rangers over here, and I'm going to sneak up and take a few of these guys out. And I'm going to quickly go to the drop ship, which is going to allow me to free fall to the battlefield below. So here's the drop ship, and I'm going to go with the troopers, and here we go. Leaping down. I've got full control here. I can fly around. Wow. Since this is an earlier mission, there are no mortar rounds coming at me, but in later levels I'll actually have some stuff to dodge, and there'll be some gameplay here. Okay. And then I can kind of pick my landing. I'm going to kind of hang back a bit. Land over here. And so then they're going to hang back while I got to fight these guys. These are more open-ended environments. There's multiple objectives that you can do. So this is where enemies kind of come from you at all sides, and you have to constantly monitor where they're coming from. Now the Nitro launcher here is just upgraded to the Nitro Eruptor. It's got a much more powerful effect, and it just basically immediately decimates anything near it.
What's its range?
Its range is pretty much tripled from the Nitro launcher.
Okay.
Oh, I gotta get this guy. All right, so I'm gonna take out some of the remaining guys, where then I finally get this showdown with a couple more Tyhrranoids. We have a Tyhrranoid mech there, and then there's a Tyhrranoid APC. Whoa, that guy's nipping at my ankles. And, oh. Okay, I think I took him out. These weapons are upgrading so fast right now, so it's just, they've become so powerful. It just takes one shot.
Now, what have you put into this third game that fans of the first two have really called for? What have you really thought about? What have they responded to?
We have a lot more exotic weapons. You know, people loved like the Sheepinator, and they like the Agents of Doom, and we've got the Rift Inducer now, which will create miniature black holes that sucks enemies up into them. We've got the Infector, which will infect enemies, causing them to attack one another, and then there's the Infecto Bomb, which will immediately infect everyone. So there's a lot of really crazy weapons, and then of course we got the whole multiplayer aspect.
Right, tell me about that.
Well, this allows 2 teams of 4 to fight against each other to try to take each other's bases. And along the way they'll encounter nodes, and the nodes give our strategic points where they can respawn at these node points, and they'll get allied drones, they'll get vehicles like ground vehicles and flying vehicles, and then there's the APC, and that's where all members of a team can pile in and try to take the other team's base. And we've been getting incredible feedback from all our play tests and focus groups, and people just have been having a really good time. So we're really excited about seeing the reaction. And the fact that now we as developers can play against our fans, we're really looking forward to that.
Absolutely. And when is the game expected to launch?
It's in November.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
coming in reinforcements!
Ratchet et Clank sont de retour et ils reviennent plus déjantés que jamais. Pulvérisez vos amis grâce au multitap pour PlayStation 2 ou affrontez en ligne des joueurs du monde entier. Vous ne trouverez pas meilleur moyen de mettre à vos proches une raclée dont ils se souviendront jusqu'à la fin de leur jour. Faites tout sauter grâce aux meilleures armes de l'univers et écoutez vos amis vous supplier quand vous les écrabouillerez avec des engins hallucinants. Des combats galactiques plus rapides, des personnages inédits, une atmosphère de dévastation digne de Ratchet et Clank et cette fois-ci, pas de limite. Vous affrontez qui vous voulez, où vous voulez, quand vous voulez.
That was terrific.
Während andere Hersteller mehrere Events rund um ein Spiel veranstalten, präsentierte uns Sony kürzlich in London gleich eine ganze Palette neuer Titel. Leider war von The Getaway 2 noch nicht viel aussagekräftiges Material zu sehen. Auf das dritte Abenteuer von Ratchet Clank durften wir dagegen schon einen näheren Blick werfen. Obwohl Ratchet Clank 2 erst Ende letzten Jahres erschienen ist, sind die Arbeiten an Teil 3 schon ziemlich weit fortgeschritten.
I never lose. There is a first time for everything.
Clank hat mittlerweile Karriere als Filmstar gemacht. Da wird das ungleiche Duo abermals in ein abgefahrenes Abenteuer gezogen. Wie üblich gibt es originelle neue Waffen und noch mehr Action als im Vorgänger. Behutsame Änderungen an der Optik lassen Ratchet Clank 3 schon jetzt hervorragend aussehen. Den Entwicklern scheinen einfach niemals die Ideen auszugehen.
Something that we're always tuning. We want to have the game appeal to a very wide range of players. So we want
Wir versuchen das Spiel für eine möglichst breite Masse interessant zu machen. Spieler, die relativ leicht durch Teil 1 und Teil 2 gekommen sind, werden im dritten Teil wieder neue Herausforderungen finden. Das neue Rollenspielsystem gibt dem Spieler die Möglichkeit, seinen eigenen Weg zu wählen. Man kann zum Beispiel nach und nach seine Waffen und Erfahrungspunkte ausbauen und dazu an bestimmte Orte zurückkehren. Wenn man stattdessen auf der Suche nach einer harten Herausforderung ist, darf man sich ohne Umwege direkt bis zum Ziel ballern. Es gibt also viele Möglichkeiten, wie sich der Spieler den Schwierigkeitsgrad selbst anpassen kann.
So I think that it gives players a lot of options and helps address the difficulty factor for a wide range of players.
Frust sollte eigentlich nicht aufkommen und auch für die Langzeitmotivation ist gesorgt. Ratchet Clank 3 wurde mit einem Online-Mehrspieler-Modus ausgestattet. Darin versuchen 2 Teams mit bis zu 4 Mitgliedern die Basis der anderen Mannschaft einzunehmen. Wir durften den Modus bereits im Netzwerk Probe spielen und hatten dabei einen Mordspaß.
Well, with the team-based gameplay, we're really pushing a lot of cooperative play. The vehicles, of
Der Online-Modus von Ratchet Clank 3 ist ohne kooperative Spielweise undenkbar. Bei den Fahrzeugen hilft es, einen Co-Piloten zu haben, der die Kanone bedient und Bomben abwirft. Auch zum Erobern von Basen braucht man die Unterstützung seiner Mitstreiter, da man sonst schnell sein Leben lassen kann. Der Modus ist also nichts für Leute, die gern als Ein-Mann-Armee durch die Levels rennen.
Auch der Einzelspielermodus ist trotz zahlreicher Upgrades kein Zuckerschlecken. Damit die Gegner hier nicht zu ödem Kanonenfutter verkommen, wurde die Intelligenz der schwer bewaffneten Angreifer noch einmal verbessert.
One of the things that we've been able to do in Ratchet Clank 3 is that the enemy behavior is a little more enhanced. For instance,
die Gegner reagieren wesentlich realistischer. Manche Soldaten heben abwehrend die Hand, wenn man mit der Plasmakanone schießen will, oder sie ballern selbst aus der sicheren Deckung. Die Feinde machen sich zudem auf den Weg, um den Spieler zu finden, und sie reagieren auf dessen Aktionen. Captain Quark weicht den Attacken des Spielers zum Beispiel mit einem Schritt zur Seite aus.
Some of your attack moves as well.
Ratchet Clank 3 bietet größere Herausforderungen, noch mehr Action und noch mehr Gags. Wenn man sieht, wie weit fortgeschritten das Spiel bereits ist, muss man sich fragen, was das Team bei einer längeren Entwicklungszeit noch alles auf die Beine stellen könnte.
Ich habe schon an Spielen gearbeitet, die 2 bis 3 Jahre bis zu ihrer Fertigstellung gebraucht haben. Das war aber bei weitem nicht so befriedigend wie das, was wir mit Ratchet Clank machen. Wir bringen jedes Jahr einen neuen Teil heraus, erhöhen die Qualität und überraschen die Spieler mit neuen Ideen. Insomniac genießt es geradezu, die Erwartungen der Spieler zu toppen. Und unsere Fans finden es klasse, dass es Jahr für Jahr neue Abenteuer gibt.
Secret Agent Clank. That was terrific. Yeah, great. Change the channel. But the man said to stay tuned. Your luck is extraordinary, sir. But do you lose as gracefully as you win? I would not know, Maximilian. I never lose. There is a first time for everything. Agent Clank! You missed! So much for the famous secret agent. Shocking. Bring the car around, Jeeves, and mind the ejector seat this time. Stay tuned for more Secret Agent Clank. That was terrific. Yeah, great. Change the channel. But the man said to stay tuned.
Und nun von einem dynamischen Duo sofort zum nächsten, nämlich Ratchet Clank. Diese beiden müssen in ihrem dritten Auftritt von ihrem Heimatplaneten Veldin ausgehend so etliche Himmelskörper aufmischen, um die gesamte Galaxie zu retten. Ein gewisser Bösewicht namens Dr. Nefarious beabsichtigt nämlich, alles interstellare Leben mit Hilfe von sogenannten Tyhrranoids auszulöschen. Um diesen mehräugigen Aliens Einhalt zu gebieten, sehen sich Ratchet und Clank gezwungen, ihren Vorruhestand frühzeitig zu beenden. Die Handlungsmöglichkeiten der beiden Hauptprotagonisten wurden um einiges erweitert. So schöpft Ratchet aus einem Fundus von über 20 Waffen, die sich jeweils vierfach ausbauen lassen. Aber auch altbewährte Gimmicks sind wieder dabei, wie die Hubschrauberfunktion, mit der sich Abgründe und Fallen sicher überwinden lassen. Auf einer schier endlos scheinenden Anzahl von verschiedenen Planeten müssen sich Ratchet und Clank Horden von Monstern stellen, von Robotern und riesigen Mechs bis hin zu gefräßigen Pflanzen. Im Einzelspielermodus hüpfen, ballern und rätseln sich die beiden Waffenbrüder durch enorme Dschungellandschaften, futuristische Städte und gewaltige Raumstationen. Dabei müssen sie immer wieder Feuerfontänen, mit Stacheln bespickte Steinquader oder heranrollende Felsen überwinden. Der Mehrspielermodus bietet alles, was das Herz begehrt. Kämpfe im Splitscreen zu zweit oder zu viert, Schlachten mit neuartigen Gefährten und stärkeren Waffen. Online wird es 6 zusätzliche Levels geben, in denen man mit oder gegeneinander spielen kann. Zusätzlich wird Kommunikation via USB-Headset möglich sein. Grafisch hat Sony einiges auf Lager. Tolle Settings, detailliert animierte Monster sowie hervorragende Effekte dürften den dritten Teil von Ratchet & Clank zu einem echten Augenschmaus machen. Nicht nur für Fans der Serie.
Your luck is extraordinary, sir. But do you lose as gracefully as you win?
I would not know, Maximilian. I never lose.
There is a first time for everything. Agent Clank! You missed! So much for the famous secret agent!
Shocking. That was terrific.
Yeah, great. Change the channel.
But the man said to stay tuned.
Ratchet and Clank are back, and this time they're even more explosive than ever. battle it out with your mates at home using a PlayStation 2 multi-tap, or compete online around the world. Either way, it's never been easier to inflict total devastation on your nearest and dearest. Kick ass with the best weapons in the universe and leave your friends begging for mercy as you slam them with the craziest vehicles yet. Faster space combat, wild new characters, all the chaos and mayhem you've come to expect from Ratchet & Clank, and this time there's no boundaries. Play who you want, where you want, when you want.
That was terrific.
Coming all the way from Los Angeles, Brian Allgeier gives us an exclusive look at Ratchet & Clank 3.
Clank has found status as a television star, and it's Secret Agent Clank is the name of the show. And Clank is a secret agent who defeats his foe with the cleverest techniques. And the characters actually react to him and say, "Oh, hey, it's Secret Agent Clank." And here Ratchet's like, "You know, I saved 2 galaxies, and hello guys, and what about me?" So that's kind of fun. So eventually, though, they discover that Veldin's under attack by this robot supervillain named Dr. Nefarious. And Nefarious wants to destroy all organic life, which he likes to call squishies. He's employed the help of the Tyhrranoids, and they carry weapons and operate various deadly machinery. They ultimately team up with Captain Quark, who forms a team called Q-Force, which are some characters from the previous games, and including some new characters as well. We've got Skid McMarx is making a return appearance, as well as Al from Al's RoboShack from the first game. There's also Helga, who's Quark's trainer, and then we've got new characters, Sasha, who's the captain of the Starship Phoenix. And then there's also the Galactic Rangers, which is a robot force that helps out as well. Now we've really improved the whole upgrade system, and it's more of an evolutionary system in that the weapons upgrade 4 times for the first playthrough. So now each weapon's also getting a better functional improvement, and it gives players a sense of progression. There's more frequent upgrades that occur as a result. In terms of the gadgets, we're expanding the functionality of the gadgets and that they can also act as a weapon. In our multiplayer mode, we have new skins that you can play. So there are various robots, aliens, and potentially a Ratchet skin that you can pick from. We're offering gadgets and weapons in a third-person type of game. There's a lot of melee combat that occurs with the wrench. We're using a lot of cool things like we've got drones that are very similar to the Synthonoids from Ratchet & Clank 2 that you can use against other players. I think just simply taking all of the kind of wacky Ratchet & Clank weapons and bringing them into an online setting. Really what we want to do is we want to introduce people to the online universe, and what better way to do it than to have a single player game that the fans can play, and they're like, okay, what's this whole online thing? Because we still believe a lot of people are somewhat nervous about jumping into the online arena. And on some level it's very daunting. We want to make that a very easy and simple process and very inviting. And so I think one of the best ways to do it is having a single player game.
Your luck is extraordinary, sir. But do you lose as gracefully as you win?
I would not know, Maximilian. I never lose.
There is a first time for everything. Agent Clank! Ha! You missed! So much for the famous secret agent.
Shocking. Bring the car around, Jeeves, and mind the ejector seat this time.
Stay tuned for more Secret Agent Clank.